Hi everyone, welcome to our very first podcast of the year. So I'm Julio, I'm the Global Guidance Ambassador, and today we're talking about exchange, specifically in America. So today we have Austin here, who went on exchange to America. So we're going to talk about pre-exchange, during exchange, and post-exchange, about the decisions, what he's been through, and would he ever decide to go back to America. So let's start. Austin, can you please introduce yourself for the podcast?
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Austin. I'm a final year international management student, and I went on exchange last year to NYU in New York. Yeah.
All right, so let's start with pre-exchange, the application journey. From the very beginning, what was your first thought of going on exchange, and what made you go on exchange to begin with?
Um, I well, it was part of my program that I initially applied for. In terms of the location, though, I've always wanted to study in the U.S. Studying in the U.S. was always my first choice. UK was here was my backup choice, so I wanted to see what the American college life is like. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Okay. And what did you use to research schools? How was the exchange application process for you like?
Initially, I was only looking up rankings for the universities. I mean, NYU is probably one of the best ones there,
Yeah.
but I was thinking, oh, I'm going on exchange. I'm there to have fun. I mean, obviously school matters as well, but I'm there to have fun mostly. So
Yeah.
location was the most important thing for me. And I was deciding between USC in Los Angeles
Okay.
and NYU. So, I mean, I picked NYU because of the show I watched on Netflix called Suits. I thought it was filmed in New York. I
Okay.
only found out it was filmed in Toronto
So
after I
when you
got there.
came
Yeah.
into New York, were you like, "Oh, I made the wrong decision. Should have went to Toronto instead."
Oh, no, I would never go to Toronto. There's no way I'm going there. Yeah, but in terms of the application process, I did everything like last minute. I started my application on the final day before deadline, and I still got my first choice. So
Okay, for those watching this,
yeah,
don't copy that. Like maybe Austin's just a very lucky guy, or no one else wanted to go to NYU
yep,
from management. But yeah, doing a preparation properly, doing your research, I think takes longer than the application process. I think the hardest thing isn't filling out like the financial requirements or filling out your plan for the whole year or choosing schools, academics. It's more on choosing the right place to go because going exchange for a year, a whole semester is like your once in a lifetime chance to like have a break from your uni. So I think that's where it took up most of the time, even before doing the application process. No. Yeah.
sure.
So when you were narrowing down schools, what were your deal breakers and what was the main point for choosing NYU compared to everything else?
Like I said, ranking was important, and another thing is, I guess I'm more of like a city guy, so
Okay.
I much prefer the city life because in here at the University of Manchester, it's a campus university.
Yeah.
You're more engaged with the campus community, whereas in New York, you get to, I don't know, live like an adult.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And before you flew out, like once you got the acceptance, what did you do and how did you figure out research from there and what was your preparation prior to coming to NYU?
The first thing I did was looking at accommodation. So I went with university accommodation, staying at student dorms, because in my first year here at the University of Manchester, I did not stay at halls. So I kind of regretted that. So I wanted to see how it would feel living in dorms, and that's like the easiest way to make friends when you're going only for a year. So that was the first thing researching for, watching YouTube videos of all the student dorms at NYU,
Yeah.
and I think that's about it. Yeah, cause I was just winging it.
And how crucial do you think choosing a dorm is? Like, I think a lot of people kind of consider, oh, maybe I should just go private. How is your dorm experience? Would you say that that's something they should look into prior to going to school?
Yeah, I think staying at dorm is definitely the best decision you can make in terms of making friends and socializing. Because in my first year here at the University of Manchester, I was kind of
He
it was
was a
kind of, it was kind of
loner.
depressing. Yeah,
He was a
I was just
loser.
always alone, constantly alone, barely had any friends, just him. Um, But the dorm mate, like all my closest friends from my exchange, I met all of them at the dorm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And so, like, did it help asking around people prior to NYU? Did you reach out to other people in that city of where to go, or just
no, I didn't do much preparation.
okay? Okay. Well, like for my experience when I went on exchange to so I also went on exchange same time as Austin. So for a whole year I went to University of Washington in Seattle, and one of the things that really helped me was I think you should do as well is reaching out to ex-exchange people. So the people that went a year before you can give you a lot of light in choosing the university as well as where to stay. So I was lucky enough to actually meet the people who went on exchange prior to me, and they gave a lot of advice on where to stay, what dorms are like, and what the situation is for each place. And I think doing that research or going to YouTube, looking at student experiences in that particular university helps you really narrow down what you want and where you want to be. Like with Austin, I think he liked the dorms because it was very student friendly and there was a lot of people similar to his age on exchange. But there are also some universities that put you in the freshman year dorm. So yeah.
For me specifically, in my first semester, I was put in a dorm, like consisting of freshmen, like NYU exchange students,
Yeah.
like from other NYU schools around the world, and us, like
Yeah.
sophomores and juniors, yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
so I think you were pretty lucky because you were put in with a lot of exchange students as well,
Yeah,
which made you meet a lot of people that were kind of in the same boat as you.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So doing that research and seeing who are you going to be put with is also important in your research. So let's move into the actual exchange. First week, initial thoughts. What was it like moving into New York?
I mean, the feeling was surreal. I was taking an Uber. I remember when I landed, I took an Uber and I saw the entire city from afar, and I was like,
Oh,
wow, I
that's
can't believe
nice.
I'm in New York.
Yeah.
And I asked the Uber driver a bunch of questions, but he was just giving me halal places.
Have you
But
tried any of them?
no, 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 no. But
Okay.
there's a lot of like halal food carts,
Yeah.
yeah, in New York, and it's pretty good,
Okay.
cheap as well, yeah. So
And so, what was it like moving in? Was it chaotic moving into a different country in the city? Was it very different from moving into the UK for the first time?
I mean, I was traveling alone, so I had to move in by myself.
Yeah.
So it was definitely challenging, but in terms of culture shocks, no, I didn't get much.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just the same, because I don't know. I grew up in an international background as well, so like nothing is new to me. It's just being in New York, one of the best cities in the world, compared to Manchester. Not hating on Manchester,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think with the UK, it really depends on the school you originally went to prior to college. Because if you grew up in a more American background, I'd say that for us it was easier to adjust into the US rather than the UK, because having that pop culture and listening to the same type of music and TV shows and movies really helped us to be able to go on exchange and adjust well to the people. I'd say they're very friendly as well when I first met them. How were your roommates, your dorm mates like when you stayed in? How was your first initial impressions of them?
Yeah, they were very friendly. Um, I mean, we were all friends.
Were friends?
Yeah, we're friends for a while. I
Okay.
mean, it's just one of the guys that we're not friends with anymore. Actually, no,
Okay.
it's two. It's two now. I forgot it's two. But yeah, they were very nice. Everyone on our floor is very nice. Like, I know like a lot of the people in our dorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a dining hall downstairs as well, and I'm friends with the lunch ladies. So yeah, it's very very nice.
Okay, and what was it like in your dorm? What was the situation like living in New York in the dorm in the middle of the city? Did you find it hard adjusting into like living expenses and all of that while you were there? And how was that like?
Well, living in New York is never cheap. I was paying, I think $3,000, around 3,000 to $3,500 a month
Yeah.
for dorms, and the situation in dorm is like this: we have three separate rooms in a flat, and the two people share a room.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of. I mean, I've never shared a room with someone, so I did not have any privacy. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's part of the experience, I signed up for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, fair
So,
enough.
I mean, like, yeah, it would have been better if my roommate wasn't snoring every day.
No, yeah, I think that's one thing you have to consider if you're ever going to America. All of the student dorms, basically, you have a roommate, no matter what. It's like a big shock and difference from the UK, where you're
Mm.
used to having your own room at the very least, if not ensuite. And so coming into America, that's something that you need to learn to live with someone who's basically there with you 24/7 from the moment you wake up and when you go to sleep. They're right there across you. Personally, I couldn't do that. I did not want to do that, so I stayed in like a student accommodation 5 minutes away from the uni in UW, and that was really nice because I had my own space, but I was able to socialize. But I think both experiences, like Austin,
Yeah.
had a good time doing that. So
I mean, I was lucky enough because my roommate, like, he was from Queens, so he'd go back home on the weekend, so I have the entire room to myself on the
yeah,
weekend. So I just got lucky. So yeah.
and so what was your campus like? Campus life and academics, how did that feel in NYU comparing it to the UK?
I mean, it's good. Like, our campus is located next to Washington Square Park. That's where the arch is,
Yeah.
and a lot of people always hang around
Adam
there.
Killa.
Yeah, like Adam Keller, yeah, he's there. Like, I don't know, it's just I would compare NYU to UCL. It's like the same thing. It's like
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
city campus, very nice area. It's just like that.
And how are the academics different? Like, did you find it more challenging in the UK or in the US? How is it different in terms of the way they taught the curriculum?
So the education I had at NYU, I wouldn't say it was challenging. I mean, it was definitely challenging. Like, it's hard, but they make you uh, work hard. It's more engaging in class. Professors would actually ask questions
Yeah.
directly to you, and attendance is part of your grade as well. So if you miss a class, I think it's 20% of your entire grade. So if you miss like more than 3 classes, your grade drops. But one thing I have to say is the modules offered at American universities are always more niche compared to the ones at
Yeah,
UK.
for sure.
Like, I was taking a class about the gambling industry. Like, you don't get that here. And I also took a sports marketing class where the marketing director of the NBA, like
Oh,
basketball,
wow.
he came in to give us a talk,
Hmm.
and like all these networking opportunities. I don't know, just compared to the UK, so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing with the UK education is that it's a bit more broad with the way they tackle stuff. So with the US, you get really specific subjects. Like in my class, for example, we had a VC class. So like my teacher, she was a VC head handling $100 million fund in Seattle, and so we would pitch to her different companies. And at the end of it, she reached out to me and asked if I could work in her VC and actually tell them like what the company I pitched them to. And so they're actually planning on investing in the healthcare company that I pitched to. So I think it's examples like that of actually having practical experiences where you could actually translate it into real world, which I think I really liked about education there.
Um, Having to go to class.
I think one thing I noticed with the US as well is that there's a lot of recall at least per week. So you get these homeworks, you get these classes
Oh
that are
yeah.
much more interactive. For you, was it also like classes where you were forced to recite or participation was part of your
Yeah,
grade?
participation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, attendance and participation
Yeah.
is part of my grade, and we have weekly assignments that we have to do that are like, I think, like 5% of our grades.
Yeah.
Weekly assignments, and they're usually very long. So I actually had to do work for once. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool from having that like second person to tell you like as well like recall and having to force you to do that because in the UK like most of your stuff are end of the semester and so it doesn't really push you throughout the semester to do the work as much. So I think that's the difference. Moving into like I think one of the things is with British people are when you talk about moving to the US and people from Europe hearing it, they're like, "Oh, America, like how was it? Like did you get shot or
Oh yeah.
was it dangerous?" Like how did you feel like? How did you find Americans in general, and how was safety for you in America?
Well, safety for me, I mean, it was chill. Like, I was walking alone at like 3 a.m. and the middle of, I mean, not in the middle of nowhere, but in the city, yeah. But I mean, there are certain parts of Manhattan that you have to avoid at night, like Central Park past 11 p.m. It's never safe because a lot of homeless people are there.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get chased by a homeless guy once
Okay.
during
Fair enough.
midnight because he was
Fair enough.
asking for change, and I was like, nah, I
Yeah.
don't got any. And he just started following me, and I obviously started pacing, and I turned around, he just started chasing me, so
No.
I just ran. Yeah, but
Were you alone at that time?
no, I mean, yeah. I was just sending a friend home, and then I
Okay.
left afterwards. Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
only experience. I mean, not my only experience, but my only experience in New York. The Seattle one was different, though. We could
Yeah.
talk about that.
Like when we were in Seattle, prior to that experience actually, I thought Seattle was fairly safe. Like I think one thing that the problem is throughout the US is they have a huge drug problem with the homeless people now, where I think you see on Instagram like the fent walk or like the fent crawling stuff. Those are real. Like you see it everywhere, like even outside the university, in the university if it's a public uni, you just see them walking around and for the most part they're harmless, but I would say like it's always good to just keep your distance from these people that you see that are on drugs, and you would just do your best to like not go on the street that they're walking in. I think it's a huge tip, as well as like you wouldn't go to the places that you think are you're more susceptible to. Like I think with us, if you pass, I think there's a saying where if you pass the Central Park
That
tube line, it's game over.
over, yeah, like because that's where Harlem is. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, if you pass Harlem, and it's gonna be the Bronx, and I'm sure you guys have heard of the Bronx. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So passing through the subway, like all of those, once you know the places, like for me, for example, there are also instances where, you know, it's least expected, right? Like in my dorm, it's known to be one of the better dorms in the area as well, and it's a really nice dorm as well. We have crazy facilities. We have a pool. We have a rooftop pool. We have fire pits on top. We have a rock climbing wall. We have a gym. We have a sauna, golf simulator, the whole thing. But one thing is that you could never really tell. So I brought Austin over there for like my last month in Seattle, and everything was safe prior to that. But literally, when we were there, we went up to the rooftop to meet our friends, and there was like over 150 people on the
yeah,
rooftop, and we were like, okay, this seems a bit like weird and sketchy because you see like people that did not look like they were from the university that somehow got into the dorm,
yeah,
and were just partying upstairs. So we decided to walk down, and when we were on the sixth floor, in the mid floor where all the barbecues were, we heard the police come in. We heard like sirens, ambulances, and we were like, okay, probably just a random building. And they pull up to our place, and we were so confused. There were some people on our floor saying, "Oh, did you hear the gunshots?" And I was just so confused, like gunshots, like
okay, yeah,
on
yeah.
which street? And they were like literally saying in our building, and I could not expect that. And I had some of my exchange friends over as well from Italy and Switzerland, and they were all panicking because they've never thought that that would happen. And so we were like, okay, let's go back up. Let's go back to my flat. And as we were going up, we saw the dude who had like blood all over his arm, and it was something that you wouldn't expect. Like, okay, like why is this guy bleeding? Like, obviously he got shot. And so we we ran towards the other side, went to the other building, and stayed there for a while because with these things, like you never know what you expect. And literally downstairs, you could see all the bullet holes, all of the gunshots. So apparently there was a huge feud, and so these things like that. Luckily, we were safe. We didn't get shot, but for us to see it in front of us and seeing the people who got shot as well is a bit scary. But yeah, like these things are unpredictable as well. But for the most part, generally, I didn't feel that unsafe, I
Yeah.
guess.
Don't
Yeah.
think it's safe. Yeah, just a lot of homeless and tweakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to like the fun stuff, I guess, from that stuff. What were your go-to spots, New York? What was it like?
Uh, when you say go-to spots, you mean
Food
like
spots,
food,
study, hangout places.
food spots, low key. I mean, I love Chick-fil-A and Chipotle.
Chick-fil-A.
I mean, in
Okay.
terms of fast food, yeah, but like
Okay.
I go to nice restaurants as well. if you're a student, I'm assuming you don't want to spend that much money eating out.
Yeah.
And another thing is, if you're staying at the uni dorms, you have to get a meal plan. So, but the meal plan's pretty good. I saved a lot of money on going to dining halls every day, so I could spend more money on other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, food. I mean, food in New York, it can never go wrong. But I think in food for New York, the best cuisine there is probably Italian. Italian, Japanese.
Okay, fair
They're my
enough.
top
Yeah.
in New York.
I think as well as like, you see a lot of these places that are like tourist traps when you go to New York, like
Like
what's it?
Cat's Deli.
Cat's Deli.
I
Seriously,
hated
Cat's
Cat's Deli
Deli
so
is so
much.
bad. Like I don't know why everyone says you have to go there, like the line is massive, you wait an hour,
Yeah.
but it's the driest sandwich. There's
I mean, it's just a historic place. But I think, and one place you have to go to is Joe's Pizza. Like the pizza scene in Spider-Man. That's the actual pizza spot is next to our dorm. So,
yeah.
yeah,
So I
it's
think
pretty
that
good.
that's one thing in exchange with having all of those spots, like being there for a year especially, and given that for business students, for us, grades didn't count, you get a lot of time to explore different things that you want to do and classes that you never thought you were going to do. Like I took guitar classes even if I'm tone deaf, like just for the fun of it because it was pass or fail. I stopped after the first session because everyone actually knew how to play the guitar. So that was it. But it's stuff like that that you can try. um yeah, so do you do any trips while you were in the US?
Yeah, we did a lot of trips. So in I can name all the trips we did. I mean not. I mean you weren't in every single trip, but the first place I went to Puerto Rico, so San Juan,
Yeah.
and I went to Boston for Thanksgiving with Julio. I went to Philadelphia just for a day because I had nothing to
Who'd
do.
you go with in Philly? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a friend there, but yeah, I went there for a day, and then we went to the beach in Jersey as well.
Yeah.
So it was nice, a beach
At the
there,
start of this.
yeah, beach house, and then went to Chicago, LA, of course, and Seattle, Dallas, yeah,
Texas was nice.
Texas, yeah, in Texas. Is that it? I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing with exchange being there for a year, you have the first 3 months where you can properly explore like your city, look at what that's like, meet the people in your city, make good friends, and then use the other time once you get bored of it to just go out and travel. And like being able to travel around the US, I think one thing that the US does very well are national parks. Their national parks, the way they preserve it and the way that everything now is connected, is really nice. And being able to just drive around, rent a car. Like if I were you, like you should learn how to drive before you go to the US and just get out there, drive around, go to national parks, do a road trip with your friends because America's all about driving. It's not
Yeah.
like the UK. And that's one of the biggest problems I had adjusting was you can't just pick up and leave and take a public transportation to go anywhere when you want to. You have to plan things properly, get a car when you need to because it's not that easy to get around. Apart from New York,
Yeah.
obviously. So yeah, I think that's it for the exchange part. Post exchange, looking back, if you had the chance to choose again, would you still choose New York?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
I mean, kind of sucks I can't transfer there. I really wanted to transfer there, but they don't take exchange students
Yeah.
as transfers. So
You
yeah,
check?
yeah. Of course I checked. What do you? I didn't want to come back here.
Okay.
I'm sure you didn't want to
Okay.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, that's the thing with exchange is that your memories there with your friends. Being there in exchange for a whole year, you start to appreciate a lot of the things more since you're leaving, and you make a really good set of friends in the long run. Like, are you still friends with the people that you met in New
Yeah, I'm
York?
still friends with them. Yeah, I talk to them time to time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, planned some trips to meet them, but I mean, never happened because it's too busy traveling to other places. So.
Yeah. Like the friends I met in Seattle, we're still all really close, and we were very lucky actually. Like a week ago, Austin and I brought Austin as well. We met our friends in Milan. So it was our friend Antonio and Lola's graduation in Milan. Hey, hey guys. So our friends from Switzerland also took the train. visited all of us, so we all had a good time in Milan. So it's stuff like that where you could actually come back, like your exchange doesn't have to stop there, and you can still meet all the people that you met on over there, and it's such a nice time to actually go out with people and explore a different city altogether and not be stuck in the place that you've always been and have a different experience from what you're normally used to. And so, if you were to do it again, what would you do differently?
Um, Honestly, I wouldn't change a thing about it
Okay.
because I don't know, like my experience in New York, I was just seeing what happens every single day. Like I did not plan, I did not prepare for what is to come. I was just there, you know.
Okay.
It was spontaneous, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like especially in America, like you'd be surprised like what you see on a daily basis. You know, like I met ASAP Rocky in a
No,
jazz
you
bar.
did not.
Yes, I did.
I
Yes,
knew
I
you
did.
were gonna bring that up. He did not meet
No, I
A$AP
met
Rocky.
ASAP Rocky. No, I dapped him up. Like, yo, was that ASAP? And then he was like, yeah, what's up, my brother? And then boom.
Okay. Who else did you meet?
Okay, I also met Rio Ferdinand in New York as well, the Manchester United legend.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere. I don't know how. I also met Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad in LA. Well, I also met Benny Blanco. Like
The producer?
yeah, the producer. Like
Oh,
yes, I met
where?
him. Right in front of my dorm. As I was getting on the bus, I was like, "Hey, man!" But I didn't get a picture with him. That's
Yeah, I guess for me as well, like, yeah, I think I would choose UW again. I think it also depends on what you want. I personally wanted like the full college experience of like seeing what that's like. So starting from seeing what you see in the movies is exactly like that, especially if you join a frat. I was very lucky to be able to join one and see what that was like. I would not do it for 4 years because it's a bit insane of how much they like to go out and party. But being there for such a short time, I think was really cool. Um, as well as advice for future exchange students. Do you have any wisdom for them?
um, I would just say really enjoy exchange. Don't worry too much about academics because I don't know. I think go on exchange is one of the best opportunities to let yourself know um where you want to live
Yeah.
postgraduate because I I'm gonna move to New York after I graduate this year. At least I hope I do if I get a job. It's a time for you to have fun, so just embrace it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think exchange is also a time where it's like a break from reality as much, where you have this buffer period where you're able to figure out what you really want to do because you're able to do all of the classes that you like and some more that you wouldn't imagine thinking of taking in the UK without the pressure of having to have the best grades to graduate and having to show that in your CV because it doesn't count. So having that leeway or allowance helps you to have more freedom in seeing what else is out there for you. Like Austin took gambling classes in New York, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was very different from what you'd have here. Like when you say niche, it was actually niche. And yeah, just I'd say try out everything that you can and try to join any societies that pique your interest, even just a little, because it's a year where you're able to just have fun as well and explore yourself in the different things that you actually think you could have done in the past. So I think that's cool. What's one thing for the people here that they must do, like one essential thing that they must do if they're in the US?
Ooh. I think you have to try brisket, Texas barbecue.
Okay, okay, actually
I
that's
think
fair. That's fair. Yeah,
you
that's a
have
good
to.
shout. Yeah.
Um, I think going to festivals as well, concerts, road trip is a must. I think that's very fun. What else actually?
It was one thing, but sure, you can go
Yeah,
on. So
okay. No,
there's
no,
so
but
many
yeah,
there's
just
so
so many
many to
things you can do.
say
Yeah.
that it's a good thing. That's a good sign. I think yeah, like first thing you said beef brisket in Texas, it's not like any
It
other thing you
was
can have. And like coming from the UK where the food isn't really, it's not really known for the food, and coming
Which
to
mean,
America where,
I love Nando's.
okay, sure, Nando's, okay, but Chick-fil-A over Nando's.
Two different types of food.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, having all of that I think is amazing. I think is really nice. And you should really, I think, look into researching properly if the university is like friendly for like socials. Because one thing is that, like I mentioned, when you're a incoming exchange student, if there's not a huge exchange population as well, it'll be hard for you to actually meet everyone else that are older in the same boat as you. So yeah. Anything else?
No, no, not really. No, there's no frats in. I mean, there are frats in NYU, but not not a big thing. Greek life is not a big thing there. That's cool though. New York, like when you think of going on exchange in New York, you don't think of um, going on exchange at NYU. You think about meeting all these other students from different universities there, like Columbia University, Parsons,
Yeah.
Pratt, all these. So like, it's like similar to London. If you study in London, you basically meet everyone from LSE, UCL, KCL, Imperial, like it's like that.
And are there any misconceptions about the US that you want to correct for future students?
Um, no, I can't think of any
Yeah, I
on
think
top of my
safety
head.
is the biggest
Yeah,
thing.
safety is definitely the biggest thing.
Uh, it's not as scary as you think. There's always violence everywhere,
Yeah,
but if you pick the right
at
places
the
and
right time. Yeah,
avoid the places that you think are sketchy, I think you'd fairly have a good time, and that's usually at the back of your mind because there's a lot of things that you're always with a lot of people, and you're never really feeling alone with, especially in America where it's very sociable. I think one thing that's very different with the UK is that people just pull up to you and say like, "Oh, hey, what's up? What's your name?" And they're much more willing to have these small talks that can lead into better friendships. And most of my friendships there were from these really small interactions that just developed. And unlike in the UK, I think it's do your own thing.
is that
Okay,
it?
so for my last question, how would you describe your exchange experience to someone considering it in one sentence?
I think my exchange year was the best year I've had in my collegiate life.
Damn.
Yes,
Okay,
at least the first semester. Okay, yeah, it's the best experience I've had because there's so much random stuff happening.
that's true. Yeah, I think so as well. Like I think with exchange, if I were to explain it in one word, it feels like something that I couldn't grasp how grateful I am to have had the opportunity to have met all these people and still continuing to be friends with the people I've met on exchange. It's just surreal, I would say, the ability to have all of those experiences in just a span of a year and all of those lifelong memories and friends that I was able to just because I said, why not take a year off and do exchange? And so, yeah, that's it. So, to conclude, thank you for watching the podcast. This is the first podcast of many. So this is just for the US, and we'll be talking about different podcasts for Europe as well as Asia moving forward. And this is like a taster session of what's there to come. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mic drop. That was so quick, bro.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
What if it didn't save? Are we doing it again?
Sure, I'm gonna save.